to fast so you can hear from God. You need to fast so you can hear from God through people. We don't mind hearing God for ourselves, but we don't like it when God talks to us through other people. Marguerite, let's go to the Word of God. Go to, whoo. Oh, I feel something here tonight. Oh, I feel something. Somebody say, teach the Word.
Teach the Word.
All right, listen, let's go. I want to show you something. We're going to go to talk about the life of David. Give me one moment. This is powerful. Go ahead and get Isaiah 58, verse 6. And go to Samuel, go to 2 Samuel chapter 12. Whew. I gotta teach this. I gotta teach this word to somebody. Somebody need this word so they can get deliverance in their life. 2 Samuel chapter 12. Start at verse 1. And I also want you to get Isaiah chapter 58, verse 6. We're going to go to that after we leave Samuel. This is powerful. Oh, go to 2 Samuel chapter 12. Get there. When you have it, let me know. 2 Samuel chapter 12. Ooh, go ahead, read.
The Lord sent Nathan to David. When he came to him, he said, there were two men in a certain town, one rich and the other poor. The rich man had a very large number of sheep and cattle.
Stop right there. Go to Psalms. I'll read Psalms. Stay where you are. You stay where you are, prophetess. 2 Samuel chapter 12. I have to show you something that's watching. There's so much information flowing through my spirit. When you fast, you're humbling yourself. Go to Psalms chapter 69, verse 10 through 12. Marguerite, you stay where you are. Those that are watching, go to Psalms chapter 69, chapter 69, verse 10 through 12. I want you to read this with me. Here's the Psalms. Here's what David said. I humble myself by fasting. Think of that. You want to humble yourself. You don't want God to humble you. Whew. That's why he asks, if my people, which are called by my name, would humble themselves. That's why Christians got to fast. If you ain't fasted in 2 or 3 years, you're probably not an humble person. Woo. I was thinking of this thought today. In order for a man to be a homosexual, he have to be with other men. If a woman is a lesbian, she have to be with other women to be a lesbian. If a basketball player wants to be a professional basketball star, he have to practice. If you want to be a rap artist in today's society and be amongst the great, then you have to tattoo your body and cuss and say things in rap that you normally don't want to say. If you want to be a part of certain groups, you have to abide by their rules and their regulations. If you want to be amongst the Joneses and you want to connect with your neighbor and be with your friend and act like them, you got to drive the car that they drive. You got to buy the kind of house that they buy. Well, why is it when we come to be a Christian, we think we don't have to pray fast, have a relationship with God, we can do anything we want to do and call ourselves Christians? So if you are a Christian, just like that basketball player, if you want to be a star, he's going to have to practice on star level. And if you want to hear God like Daniel heard God, you're going to have to fast like Daniel fast. I say that because we got folk in the pew trying to teach the prophet, trying to teach the pastor, trying to teach the apostle, trying to teach the evangelist. The Bible said that God gave some apostles, prophets, pastors, teachers, and evangelists for the equipping of the saints. Now we got a spirit in the church that the saints want to equip the prophets and the apostles and the pastors and the teachers. This is powerful. Now, I say that to bring some order. Have you ever heard Michael Jordan trying to coach the coach? Phil Jackson? What you mean, prophet? You mean to tell me I don't have nothing to offer? You do have something to offer. But if you are a player, you play the game. If you are a coach, you coach the game. I never see the coach grabbing the basketball trying to dunk the basketball. We get out of order in our life. We get out of order in our position. We want to be something that we are not willing to become. We want to be a movie star, but we don't want to invest in training. We want to be a businessman, but we don't want to take our money and invest in a business. We don't want a boss, but we don't want to humble ourselves and come up with a business plan and make your own money to be your own boss. We want to lead, but we don't want to follow. We want to lead, but we don't want to submit. Prophet, you talking about me? I'm talking about our culture in America. I'm talking about the way we live now in America. Yeah. Marguerite, that's why I preach the way I preach. I don't want to preach like everybody else. Yeah. I don't want to talk like everybody else. I don't want to be the next Bishop Jakes. I don't want to be the next Juanita Bynum. I want to be the next prophet Marquez. And I want to do what it is that God told me to do. I want to say what God told me to say. I don't want to be the next Lecrae. I don't want to do a movie like NWA. I don't want to follow the influences of the world. But I want to raise with God and stay with God so I can influence people in the world. Second Chronicles. We're going to go back to 2 Samuel. 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves. God never said he will humble you. It's not God's responsibility to humble you. He will do it. God will cut you down. The Bible said that pride comes before a fall. If you fall and if you lose everything and you don't have nothing, you may be a prideful person. You can't get a breakthrough. You may be a prideful person. You won't humble yourself long enough to learn something from somebody. Most people that I talk to love teaching, but they don't love listening. The one who's talking is not learning. I spend most of my time learning. This little short time, 30, 40 minutes that I have with you to teach on the internet is a small amount of time that I have just to teach. But I spend hours, days, weeks, months, years learning, being taught. You can ask my pastor that was in Monroe, Louisiana. I sat on the front row at the church and read the Bible for her. And I was taught by this woman of God for years. She taught me how to fast. She taught me how to pray. She taught me how to seek God. Marguerite, she taught me how to get a breakthrough. One of the greatest things that Inez Walker ever taught me was bring yourself to God, Griffin. Woo! She would tell me that get with God. One time my pastor, she got on the altar and began to sit in. You know how they open up the doors of the church? And my pastor went and shook the chair. You know how they open the doors of the church? And they put the chair right there. Internet family, have you ever been in the church and they open the doors of the church? And they bring the chair? My pastor, Inez Walker, at the Refuge Healing Church in Monroe, Louisiana, at the time took the chair. She was the pastor of the church. Still is the pastor of that same church. Tears was in my eyes. I said, this is my leader. This is the woman of God that I look up to. This is the woman that teaches me how to fast and pray, how to seek God. She the one that told me, she said, Griffin, you have a really unusual hunger for God. I never seen young people hunger for God. I was like 21, 22 years old. When everybody else was at the mall, Marguerite, I was locked in the church. One day I got out the church and I went to go get something to eat. The man said, is that you with your truck always at that church? I was seeking God, and Pastor Walker took the chair. And I asked her, she looked at me. After it was over with, she said, Griffin, I saw you looking at me. I said, Pastor, I was trying to figure out, you the pastor. You the one that pray for the people that sit in the chair. She said, I'm the pastor, but I need God too. We forget that. We think just because somebody is in leadership that they don't need God. They need God, and they're the one they're hearing God before you hear God, because they're the one that constantly getting the message from God. I can't teach on pride comfortably and preach and tell you that you're prideful if God has never correct pride in me. I know that. God said you're broke because you won't learn from a person who succeeded financially. Now I'm not broke. I remember there was people who thought I was broke. They were trying to figure out how much money I had. Because there was a time I wasn't working, but I still wasn't broke. Woo, tell somebody. I was sharing it with one of my friends in the Lord. There was a time where I lost 100% of my income. And there was people who thought I had no money. I had money. I wasn't broke. I wasn't broke financially. When I didn't have a job, I drove from Fort Worth all the way to Mesquite to buy somebody else something to eat. And I didn't even have a job. I didn't have a job. Whew. Because when you got God, God will give you wisdom and you humble yourself. People will start teaching you how to succeed financially. Marguerite, you want to know what humility is? How the Bible said if my people would just humble themselves, the ones that are called by my name, pray and seek my face and turn from their evil ways, then I will hear from heaven. That's the protocol for hearing God. That's the protocol for God hearing you. Humility, being humble. It was a man, won't say his name. He inboxed me because he saw me on Facebook. He said, man of God, I know you have several streams of income. He said, I know you got multiple things going on in your life. He said, but if one of your incomes dry up, call me. Let me know I can help. I said, I ain't going to wait till my income dry up. I may have 1 or 2 or 3, 4 streams of income, but why would I wait till it dry up to ask for another one? That's the problem that we have in our society. I made that mistake before. We wait till we get in a crisis to reach for help. Don't wait till you're in a crisis to reach for help. Reach for help now. Learn now. Marguerite, there's people that you know that can learn from you. They need to learn from you. God anointed you to teach them, but they don't want to learn from you because it's pride. I've been there, done that. I've been in a position where my friend may have more money than me, have more wisdom and knowledge. Sometimes God link us up with people who become our friends, but really they're called to be our mentors. There are folks that we rubbing shoulders with, trying to impress them and let them know I'm just like you. I can drive a car like you. I know some stuff. Have you ever been in a conversation at lunch, or you in a conversation at dinner, or maybe you was with your cousins and you were sharing something, and then they have to compete and show you, I know that too? Pride. When I enter a conversation, I enter the conversation as a learner, not the teacher. And I told this person, I said, I'll let you help me. Watch this. Got on the phone with the person. They told me about the business. I could have said it was a scheme. I could have said it was this. I listened to the person ask the question. That night I invested and joined the business. Why? Humility. Humility. Why? Because the man said that you can make money doing this and you can help people doing this. And you can help people become financially free. And I said, I'm going to join the business. I'm going to be a part of it. Humility. Somebody say humility. That's why Christians have to fast. Marguerite, listen to this. I want to teach this to you. Drop this in your spirit. There's going to be times that you're too busy to be a part of something. And God bring you an opportunity. You have to take that opportunity. You may not walk in it right in that moment. Don't reject an opportunity because you're too busy to do it today. A lot of times God bring us train carts. How you know, like a train, and there's different carts on that train. And each cart has something in it for you. But you got to be humble enough and walk in humility enough. When it comes, you can see it. That's why Daniel was so wise. When King Nebuchadnezzar sent out a decree to kill all the men in the Babylon, Daniel said, wait a minute, why is the decree hasted so strong? He wanted to know, why was the king coming at us like this? And he asked the general, ask, A-S-K. Most people won't ask because they are not humble enough. I'm independent. I can do it myself. I take care of myself. I don't need nobody. I know how to do this. I don't need your help, prophet. I don't need your help. I got this. How many people you know like that? You trying to help them, but they won't receive your help.